Hey YouTube, hey Facebook, it's me, your girl Chic from Chic Speaks. Listen, I know it's been a minute since I've been out here. I've given you a live, but listen, life has been lifing. Again, life has been lifing, but I am on tonight, this Friday night. Listen, Ciara, our girl Ciara Wilson, got the girls and boys talking very loudly. Everybody got an opinion on Mr. and Mrs. Russell's marriage, how they moving out here in these streets, how they're dressing out here in these streets. I'm just coming out here to share my opinion. So many opinions. So come on in, come on in. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Participate in the conversation because I want to hear what you have to say. What do you have to say? Like, what are your thoughts? Like, sis got it all out. That body is bodying. body. Listen, we need Megan Thee Stallion somewhere, like being her whole her soundtrack, can y'all imagine like Megan soundtrack, body yada yada, as Ciara is stepping in the room because the body is giving, but is that the give that we want to give as a Mrs.? Again, is this what we want to give as a whole married woman out here in these streets in 2023? I am a whole married woman out here. So if you don't know me, I am Chic from Chic Speaks. I am married as all married get out. I've been married for 20 listen, I've been married for almost 19 years. So I provide a lot of insight pertaining to marriage, typically on my channel, just the perspective of coming from a married woman, a woman who's been married for a very long time. So I have my opinion just like the next person. So again, this is coming from a perspective of a whole married woman out here. I am a big Ciara fan. I will say there are some things that she does that I don't exactly support, as far as, a married woman. If some of you may recall recently, she came out, she had the song where some of it was released about, and, in the lyrics, it was kind of like an anthem for the single ladies. So, I mean, listen, I don't know. I think it kind of it was one of those situations to where, you ever hear that saying where it's not like what was said, it's who said it. And I think it was one of those things is because Ciara is a married woman, her coming out with a song talking about single women, being single and it being okay, and just kind of her encouraging and motivating them. I think that the song would have kind of come off differently or would have been received differently had it come from someone who was single versus someone who was married. So with that being said, people kind of viewed the song as kind of like hypocritical. So we can kind of get into that too with the lyrics. If some of you are not familiar with that, you'll just have to let me know in the comments. But sis has been her name has just been flooding the airways like as of late. And what they say, bad publicity is better than no publicity, like whatever. I don't know if it's considered bad. I don't know. She has a really huge fan base. So a lot of people, I'm sure, when I go on her Instagram, it looks like a lot of people were here for her outfit, which she chose to wear to what is that? She was at the Vanity Fair. Where was this woman at? Let me see. So this is the Oscars party. So as they say, negativity always sounds louder than positivity, because it's like I'm not really too much hearing people speak on her wardrobe, as far as from a positive perspective. It's like I'm hearing more people talk about it from the negative perspective, but it doesn't mean that there aren't people who are here for her outfit, because when I went up to her Instagram and looked in the comments, I did see people who were here for Mrs. Russell's dress. They're like, the body was given, they were just all the way here for it. They were. But I can't help but to wonder if the people in the comments who were here for her dress are people who are not married. See, that's the thing. I think that it's a lot of the people who are single. I mean, to me, it makes more sense that there are more people who maybe are single being here for her dress for the Oscar party versus those who are married. Y'all gonna have to let me know in the comments because I've been hearing a lot of people's opinions and they're not here for the dress. And they're like, no, you're a whole married woman out here. You got 3 kids. No, sis, this is not it. But as I say on her Instagram in the comments, I did see people that were here for her dress, and we can get into those comments as well. I'm personally on the side of not being here for it. I just personally don't find it to be a good look, given that, okay, she is a wife and a mother. I just didn't find it to be a good look or representation of her husband, because I always say, when a woman steps out of the house, she's representing her husband, her family, or like she's representing just as he's representing. They represent one another. When you get married, you become one. How many of us have heard that? Like, I live by that. That is a real thing. So most men that I actually haven't heard any man give an opinion to say, listen, I'm good. I don't care. She can wear what she want to wear. I did hear a man on a podcast today actually have an opinion. He was like, well, given that we're going to an Oscar party, I would be fine with it. But if we were just going out just in the streets, no. And he was like, the reason why I wouldn't want to be out in the streets just going to, I guess, Red Lobster, because he was like, I don't want to be put in a situation where I'm going to have to fight and defend her or defend my woman because someone is being disrespectful. And I thought that made a lot of sense, because when you think about it, ladies, do we really want to intentionally have our men in a situation where they're having to defend us? Many of us know, or, hopefully we're with men or in marriages where our man is going to defend us when necessary. But do we want to be irresponsible and just be out here doing the absolute most to where he's having to put his life on the line in order to defend you when you could have just moved differently to begin with? I think sometimes we have to think about things like that. So this gentleman was like, going to the awards, if that's what she wants to wear, whatever. I guess he looked at it as a controlled environment. Like, okay, I'm not like I'm going to Decatur where it's greater and we at the gas station and and she wanting to go inside of the store to get some donuts or something, and her whole behind is all out. He's like, well, no, that's not the environment. We're at a party. I guess you have security. It's pretty much mostly a bunch of rich people, cameras. So he was like, he would kind of be, I guess, okay in that environment. But like I said, that was just the one person who kind of had, that perspective. But for the most part, the other 99.9% of the men were like, oh, hell no, this is not this. We're not doing this. We're not doing this. So the question is, how does Russell really feel about Ciara airing it all out like that? We see him in this picture that I have on my screen. We've seen Ciara kind of, we've seen her twerking it. Like, we done seen Ciara in many different environments, and Mr. Wilson is still there right by her side. Clearly, this man loves his wife. He's letting her do what she needs to do. But the question that comes to mind for me is Ciara a woman that's truly fulfilled within her marriage? Does Russell really do it for her? Like, does he really do it for her? Because I even heard someone pose a question of, would she, carry on or dress like this if she was with Future? Do y'all think that Future would let it even go down like this on the red carpet with Ciara having it all out like that? Like, think about it. Like, would Future really let it go down like that? Or would he have some boundaries to be like, nah, that's going to be for the late night, our little private show type situation? Because I want to say, prior to Ciara getting with Russell, I hadn't seen her dress like this. I don't know. Y'all can let me know if there's other pictures out there where she did dress risque prior to being a married woman, but I don't recall it. She wasn't no nun, but I don't recall anything of this magnitude when she wasn't a Mrs. So again, I can't help but to wonder, what is this really about? Is Ciara really chasing something out there? I personally feel that Ciara is working extra hard and double overtime to stay relevant, and I think she's struggling with that thought of possibly losing herself within her marriage. Now, that's a big thing, ladies. When you're in a relationship, you know what your life was like prior to becoming the missus. You become a mom. So now you're a mom, you're a wife, and then you start to feel like you've fallen down on a tolling pole. So it's like you're struggling to try to show people, okay, I am still me. I am still a woman. I know I got kids and I got a husband, but look at me. Look at me. I'm over here. Look at me. I know personally, I've experienced that through my life when, my children were younger, as I'm wanting to be seen as a woman and not just a mother and a wife. And I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. But again, what they say is not what you do, is how you do it. And I think what we're dealing with, what we're seeing right now, is a situation of how you do it. And I think I think that when she got with Russell, it's almost like she and her career became overshadowed with who her husband is, who she married into. So she stopped being seen as Ciara, the artist, the singer, the entertainer, whatever we knew her as before. And we started to just see her as Mrs. Wilson. Or I'm sorry, Russell. Yes, Mrs. Wilson. We just started to see her as Mrs. Wilson. And I think sis had a problem with that. I think she's like, no, I mean, I have my own identity too. And I get that. I get that. I completely understand that. But the question is, are we going about it the right way? Is it a healthy way? There's so many people out here, y'all, are questioning how long this marriage is probably going to last. At what point will Russell be like, you know what? I can't do this anymore. I've been letting you live, have your life, do what you do, but the embarrassment. Do y'all think this man is embarrassed? Like, even though he hasn't made no statement, we see him have the same look in his face, from event after event. Do you really think that he's feeling a certain type of way, really deep down? Because I was talking to my husband, and I just wanted to get a male's perspective, like, yo, like, what's your thoughts? You're like, what, and he was like, my thoughts is when he see her come out the room and see how, her look for the evening is going to be, he thinks to himself, damn, here we go again, but leave it at that without basically making an issue out of it. Because a lot of men don't want their women to feel like they're trying to control them or, treat them like a child. But it's a boundary. And I think some men, and maybe even Russell, may get caught up in that the part of still speaking up and being a man and saying, hey, I don't feel good. I'm feeling a certain way about this. And it's not about keeping you down or holding you back. It's just me as a man, I don't feel comfortable. So I can't help but to wonder if Russell may at moments feel a certain way, but maybe not outright express it out of not wanting her to feel like she's being boxed in or being controlled. You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody will kind of put another person's feelings before their own. They'll act like they good with something, but deep down they're not, because they don't want to start an argument. They don't want to come off a certain way. So they just be like, whatever. But how many times can we just say whatever? Like, think about it. How many times have you been in a situation where you said whatever, and then you finally be like, you know what? We can't do the whatever no more. I'm tired. Or there becomes a big blow up, and it's like the littlest thing will just set you off because it's this buildup. How much will it take before, say, there's this buildup with them to where he's going to be like, you know what? F this. I can't do this no more. Go put some damn jeans on and a crop top or something. At what point is bro going to be like, listen, I can't, because he's a man too at the end of the day. Can y'all imagine what life like when he go to work after, coming off of an event, saying the wife behind being out, and then you got to go to work knowing that everybody that you play with or that you work with, they just 24 hours ago just seen your lady and all her goodies. Like, think about it. Like, just really stop to think about it. Has nothing to do with trying to control what somebody is wearing, y'all. This is deeper than that. And when you are a wife, the wives out here have to understand and feel where I am coming from. Y'all not finna try to make me believe and think that I'm just on some other stuff and I'm just like arcade. I don't know, Saint Mary. No, this is like, damn, this is common sense stuff. Like, this is just real basic, like, like stuff that shouldn't even cross your mind to be trying to go outside and do the absolute most. Like, listen, I'm gonna show y'all. Listen, y'all talk to me. Super Patriot, welcome. Thank you for joining. You're making sense. Listen, I thank you for letting me know, co-signing, because like I said, I am a fan of Ciara, but I am not a fan of her antics as of late. Period. I'm just going to say it. I'm not a fan of it. I remember how I know that Russell can't be feeling this, y'all. I seen not that long ago. It was a video of their daughter, Sienna. I think that's her name, Sienna. She was kind of acting sassy to the camera, and Ciara was talking to her, and Sienna was she had her little beautiful natural curly hair, and she kind of was like flipping it and stuff like that, really feeling herself. And Ciara turns the camera to Daddy. Russell was like, how do you feel about this? And he had on his face, he was like, that's too much. That's too much. Basically, he was saying Sienna was doing too much in that moment. So if a father can sit up here and see what his little girl, as she's kind of acting sassy, not liking that for his little girl, you can't convince me that this same man is okay with his wife having her behind out on the carpet. You cannot convince me that. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. This man cannot be against his daughter acting sassy, but though wife acting thottish. Like, y'all, listen, make it make sense. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Like I said, I feel like he's quiet because he knew that when he got with her, this was her career. This is what she did. So he don't want to come off as trying to seem like he's trying to change her. He don't want it to come off of that. But listen, but when you don't step up and set those boundaries, it's about setting those boundaries early on. Because when you don't set those boundaries, it's like with children, like they keep testing you. That's just people in general. What they say, teach people how to treat you. You got to teach people how to treat you. And that's anybody. That's your spouse, that's your coworkers, your neighbor, that's anybody who you encounter. You have to teach people how to treat you. And what happened is, what we're seeing is that Russell didn't set boundaries in this relationship. The question is it too late? I don't think it's too late. But I think it can be if you keep letting it go on to where it festers and you have this buildup and this emotion. And then when you do go to talk about it, there's just this big blow up. I think they've been married for maybe like 6 years or something like that. They've been married for a cool minute, but he has to get this under control because it's going to get worse and worse and worse. And he is the one who's going to be out here looking crazy. People are already putting bets on when she's going to leave him. Not when he going to leave her, but when is she going to leave him? I heard that Future has a song out and he alluded to messing around with her since she's been married to Russell. I haven't heard it. In my heart of heart, I would like to believe that CC wouldn't bark up that tree with backtracking to Future, but I don't know. Y'all let me know if y'all heard that song. Super Patriot said, it's never too late, but times makes things worse. I get it. Times make things worse. You got to talk about stuff. You got to address things in real time. Just like I said in the video with the little girl, he was like, too much. That's too much. And you can tell that he was a whole father in that moment. He didn't like his daughter acting sassy. Boundaries, too much. So what do you think life is like around the house when it comes to the little girl and the antics and the behaviors of the children? Do you think that he feels strong enough to be able to step in and say anything? Do you feel that maybe when it comes to the boys, he can kind of, or his, it's only one son in the house that's biologically his. But do you think that maybe when it comes to the daughter, do he just let Ciara handle that and whatever she says go because it's a girl? I don't know. It just this whole situation makes me wonder what type of influence or control do we have in the home? Is he leading the home? Who's leading the home? You know, is life about just what they say? You guys ever hear the saying, happy wife, happy life? Is this what's going on? Well, as long as I keep her happy, then everything is all good. I don't necessarily subscribe to that saying, happy wife, happy life. I think that it's important for both parties within the relationship to value the feelings of the other person, to want to know that the other person is feeling fulfilled and satisfied and feeling respected. I don't think that I don't think Super Patriot, you said you've heard that. Yeah, that's a saying. And there's a lot of men who put their feelings aside just for that. But I think it goes both ways. But I often say when I have conversations, a lot of times with people, ladies and things, I feel like we live in a society to where it's only about the feelings of the women and not the men. Like, let a man walk around talking about what he feel or how he feeling in the moment as it pertains to a woman. He is getting straight snapped on, canceled, whatever you want to call it. But though a woman can walk around, get on the internet, whatever, and say how they feel about the next man, and it's a yes, girl type of situation. But the minute the man kind of say how he's feeling or what he wants in return, then he getting snapped on. How dare you? How dare you have a standard or a requirement? And I don't think that's fair, but that's the culture that we live in. And it has men a lot of times just sitting idle and just not saying nothing because they're like, what for? If I say something, the raft is coming. And it's not fair, but it's just the way it is. And it has to be disheartening for a man to live in his home and feel that way, to feel like he can't speak up, especially when you're supporting the home, you're taking care of the home, and you can't even speak up because you don't want to suddenly be looked at as though you're trying to be controlling, abusive. Like it's not fair. It's not fair. I'm just going to put it out there. It's not fair, but I recognize that that's the way things are. So back to, what does a wife look like? I put in my title, Wife School 2023. I've been hearing this thing, wife school. Do we need wife schools out here? Because I see so many women out here doing the absolute most. But a lot of women today, especially young girls in their 20s, they're really not looking for marriage. They just really not into that whole notion of marriage. But that don't mean they're not into the idea of becoming a mother one day, which means being a baby mom. They're not against that completely. But the marriage part, nah, because a lot of them have this false pretense of what a marriage is. They don't understand what it is. And I think the reason why that is because many of our young girls didn't come from homes where they saw a marriage or a healthy marriage. Myself included, I briefly saw a marriage. I wouldn't categorize as healthy, but I saw one. So I knew what it was that I wanted in a marriage versus what I didn't, just from that period of time in my childhood where I witnessed it. But there are a number of young ladies who never seen it at all. And I want to say, if I can recall, Ciara came from a 2-parent household. So she knows, she's seen an example of marriage. What the quality was of that marriage, I don't know. Super Patriot said we literally need schools for a lot of things. Like we have to, because it's like what they say, you don't know what you don't know. So I get that. But I think there's far too many people out here, especially with our young people, they're looking to people who do not have a clue and are just trying to figure it out. There are young girls who are trying to learn about marriage and things like that from Instagram and and the celebrities, when it's not true. It's an illusion. It's not reality, but they're wanting to emulate these lifestyles. Super Patriot says we need to teach the kids. We have to teach the kids, because we would just be we would it would just be we would just be creating like another generation of just lost souls out here. I feel like we got a lot of lost souls out here, like people who are just who are just lost, don't know. There's a lot going on today in society. There is a lot. There is a lot. But I do want to use an example of somebody who did attend the Oscar party and whose husband did express how he felt about how she looked. Let me go ahead and share my screen, because I want to show that you don't have to have it let it all hang out in order to look good. Like, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. This article reads, LeBron James gushes over wife Savannah James' 2023 Vanity Fair Oscar party look. What the hell have Russell said about his wife's look? Everybody been going in talking about this dress. I ain't heard no comment about how he felt about his woman that night. Not a one. No comment at all, whether it was good or bad. Even in her defense, I have not seen a comment yet, but we're able to see that LeBron felt he was proud of his wife. He felt like she was a good representation of them. Look at her. This is her on the screen. Make sure y'all can see my screen. Savannah James. Same event. Same event. You see the difference? Listen. Since you can see her body is giving what it needs to give, like you see everything. Let's take a look at what he had to say about his wife's look. Let's see this comment he made. Let me see. Make sure y'all can see my screen. Let me go to I went to the Instagram because I want to show you the comment he made about Mrs. James. This is a comment. God damn. Listen, sis did that. Body, yada, yada. She can have that Megan Thee Stallion song too. Listen, you see what it gave, like, good. Look, Super Patriot, you said, good Lord. Look, that is what I'm talking about. It's like you want your woman, you want to be proud of your lady and feel good about, who you got on your arm. But at the same time, you still want it to be with class. It's not what you do, as I say, it's how you do it. And Miss James understood the assignment, as she always does. Somebody show me a picture where she stepped out and not coming through in the manner in which she needed to. I have yet to see one. She's what do you call her? Silent warrior. Like, she kills it like effortless. Like, she's just quiet with it. It's almost like you stick your pinky toe in the water to check the temperature. That's what she do. So when you put her alongside of Ciara, which woman do you think the typical man would rather link up with? Which one? Would you rather link up with the one who's showing everything? Beautiful, but she's showing everything. So hell, John over there already know what you working with at night, or Miss James, where you can imagine what LeBron is working with. There's the imagination. You hear these sayings of leave something to the imagination, because what makes the husband so special if everybody can see or have access to what he has? So it's how we look at things. Let's look at some of these comments that people said about Savannah in here. Let's see, because people were appreciating. Somebody saying, I said she was all state and it hit out the park, no question. Completely understand why you number one all time with all due respect. Somebody says, find a queen, treat her like a queen, live the life of a king. Like, people are appreciating this look. And she's fully, she's fully covered. She's fully covered. So, like I said, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. It's how you do it. Meanwhile, she's not on this press run on trying to defend what she wore to a formal event. She's not, she's just living her life while people appreciate. She's just living her life while people are just appreciating her beauty. People are talking about the right things, focusing on the right things. There are no distractions. You're focusing on a beautiful married woman. Super Patriot said, I absolutely love long dresses. She looks beautiful. Ciara is beautiful as well, but again, there's a time and place for any and everything. And I think that that's something that she's not understanding right now, because I truly believe that she's struggling with trying to hold on to Ciara. It's like what they say, you're trying to hold on to that little piece of independence, of yourself. I think that's what she's doing, but she don't have to do that, because you can still be you and still be married. What they say, two things can exist at once, but you can't be a whole married person, but still trying to go outside, be outside and live like a single person. That more often than not never works. It doesn't work. If you want to be single, just be that single. But to try to live the single life within a married life, where they do that at? Where do we see that ever works? It just makes for tabloid stories. And then until you hear about the a divorce being filed by someone. So it's just, as I say, people are putting bets, got the countdown on when this situation is going to end. I don't know, but my instinct tells me that Russell isn't here for these looks, but for the sake of keeping a happy home, he's just keeping quiet. So I'm going to show you another. I'm going to go to Ciara's Instagram, because Ciara is she's feeling the wrath of the people, because her recent post on her Instagram, sis got a whole bunch of clothes on. She went from one extreme to the other. She got a lot of clothes on. She got a lot of clothes on because she's trying to send a message that, okay, well, I can cover up too. It's like, we know what you're capable of doing. We know that you got a nice body. Stop having to be out here having to prove yourself. I don't know now, Ciara, is she trying to be a model now? I don't damn know. Because every time I look around when I'm seeing pictures and things where she's at, it's something dealing with like modeling or something. So I don't know if that's what she's trying to transition into. But I think the idea of her just being a wife and a mom at the crib, sis is like, I need more. This is not enough. Let's look at these comments on this latest video. Someone says, I peeped the quote, nobody can judge me but me picture. Someone says, I see what you did here and here for it. Someone else says, Cece said, this for the Pharisees and Sadducees. Someone says, the one thing people hate is a versatile woman who's not afraid to show her many layers. Again, I would love to know how many of these people who are here for the shenanigans are married. How many are married? Because as I'm reading these comments don't sound like comments that's coming from a married woman. Because you know what? A married woman, a very married woman, a married woman who takes her vows and nuptials serious wouldn't have been here for that look, period. At best, that look would have been more appreciated if she was caught at a beach with her husband, which is an environment where pretty much everybody is dang half naked. But at a formal event, no, ma'am. No, sir. Someone says, get them, Cece. Keep your foot on these haters' necks. I know most of these women aren't married because the statistic shows that most Black people aren't married. It's only about 30% of us that are married. It's not that many married folks out here, y'all. Not in our community. It's not a lot of people that are married. It's not. The stats are not on our side for the Black community for married people. These people that are commenting are these people who are appreciating that song that she recently, that she's supposed to be dropping, praising single life. Meanwhile, she had the Ciara prayer not that long ago where people was wanting the Ciara prayer so they can get them a Russell too. So which one is it? Are you advocating for them to get them a Russell too? Or are you advocating for them to be like, forget these men, you got this, sis, on your own? Is it like, like which one is it? It's almost like, there's two different messages coming from this woman that are contradictory. It's not making sense. Somebody said, CC dragging them uppity, pick me, woe is me, church folks. And it's not all church people who are having an opinion. The bulk of the people who are having an opinion are people who are married and who understand married life, who knows the difference between married life and single life. Super Patriot said, what the hell? Listen, sis went from one extreme to the other. Like I said, she so that, with the word, what they say, press, she's feeling the heat. Someone says, I love the trolling. Don't play with us. Soft side girl. Soft side girls, whatever that is. Someone said it's hard. It's either naked or sweater on sweater. Clearly, it doesn't matter what you wear. I mean, she looks good in all things that she wears. So again, just it is what it is. To me, the whole thing, everything just screams attention to me, and that there's something deeper going on with her as it pertains to her relationship with her marriage. And hopefully, she can work through it. Hopefully she can work through it. It is what it is. And like I said, as Russell being a man, he has to be feeling a certain type of way about this. They have to be having conversations at home. I don't know if he's trying to play it off like, oh no, I'm good. I'm good. Really, sir? Really? Because like I said, we haven't seen anything where he's come out in defense or making any comments. Hell, we saw where LeBron James made a comment about Savannah. But Ciara is like, listen, they got Selective Outrage. Let's go back to the article, what prompted me, really to want to do this live, because Ciara's like, folks got selective outrage on, how they're feeling about me or whatever. So I'm not quite sure, let me get to that article to see, what exactly is she meaning, when she says selective outrage. I think that people are just looking for consistency, I think, when it comes to her. So let me see. Can you make sure my screen? Okay. So this is the article. Let's get into this article. Let's get into it. So this is Ciara's response to criticism for wearing revealing Oscars party dress. Ciara has responded to those who didn't approve of her Vanity Fair Oscars party dress. For this year's affair, the singer wore a sparkling sheer backless Dundas dress that included a deep V-neck line. She paired the look with a black thong, opera-style gloves, and a pair of Santoni shoes. The Level Up singer, which she later shared on Instagram, was immediately met with lots of mixed opinions, with many criticizing how revealing the look was. Y'all would make it look so crazy. Have y'all seen the picture with her standing next to Megan Thee Stallion, who had a full-on dress gown on? That's the craziest thing. And Megan's the whole single woman out here who doggone career is built off of twerking. And she had a whole dress. I gotta find that I have to find that picture, but it just really brings it all home when you see, like, people are like, how the hell Megan and Cardi B got more clothes on than Ciara? Make it make sense. But the article goes on to say, I guess here's, a comment that someone had. Less is more, sis. This is embarrassing for your husband and your children. Have some self-respect. You're a wife and a mother, one Instagram user wrote in the comments section of Ciara's post. Another wrote, you are a stunning woman, but this amount of skin is inappropriate for public events. Other fans and followers echo those sentiments. Ciara has since pushed back on that criticism, posting a TikTok video on Thursday that poked fun at all of the drama. Let's see if we can find that video. Okay.
All right, Ciara, looking up for the second photo here.
Let me see. I hope y'all was able to see that. No, I look like it didn't let y'all see it. Let me see. I'm gonna try it again. Well, let me see. I want to try to share that. Let me try it again. That TikTok. Let me do a.
The wedding was a little surprise, that's for sure.
Okay,
it was a surprise to
hold
people.
on.
You know, my favorite part was seeing her walk down the aisle, though. I can definitely say that.
Okay,
His
so
dedication to being great is.
let me
on another
see. I got a
level.
bunch of
just wanted to
stuff. I
feel his
got
love
something
and see
on.
makes
Let
me
me
feel love because he really is an amazing father. It's just really
let
sweet
me
to see how
turn
committed
something
he is.
off.
It's actually very sexy.
Got something playing in my background. I hate when that happens. I got to figure out where it's
Whatever
coming
I
from.
want because I'm pregnant.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys.
Okay. Found it. Okay. So I want to try to show this TikTok of her because this is her kind of, I guess, trying to clap back at the people who got things to say about her outfit. So let me see. Let me see. Okay. Okay. So here we go. Let me go back. Let's go back.
All right, Ciara, looking up for the second photo here.
So that's what she posted as a way to kind of, in response to, I guess, critics of her outfit. Like I said, you know, she kind of went from like the one extreme of not having nothing on to the extreme of just look like having a blanket on. So she did that on Thursday. I guess that was yesterday, as a way to poke fun at everything that's going on. So it says in the short clip, Ciara is seen wearing dark shades and what appears to be a big sheet. Let me share my screen again on the article, y'all. I'm all over the place. I want y'all to see that TikTok. So let me go back to the article where she was kind of trying, you know, where they were just, you know, giving her response to the criticism. Okay. So, and it says in the short clip, Ciara is seen wearing dark shades and what appears to be a big sheet covering her entire body. Quote, how I'm pulling up to Vanity Fair next year, end of quote. She wrote in the text overlaid in the video, along with a teary-eyed laughing emoji. Quote unquote, selective outrage. She added in the caption, along with a crying emoji. Further responding to critics, Ciara later posted a video of herself in a gray sweater and a sweater dress and metallic boots with Beyonce's Church Girl playing in the background, strutting into the weekend like she wrote in the caption. So like I said, you know, she kind of trolling at this point because people are really coming at her. Rightfully so, right? Right? Let's see. Kay and Kareem, welcome. You said, I think it's selective because tons of female stars dress like that. Rihanna had a dress like this, Beyonce, etc. They make her get more branding deals. So it is what it is. Well, Rihanna, I don't even know. Rihanna, they say she's gotten married. Is she married to A$AP Rocky? Because I think of, you know, when, you know, if you want to throw Rihanna's name in the mix, for the most part, when Rihanna has done the most, you know, with her clothing or whatever, Rihanna wasn't doing it as a married woman. So I think that changes the game. And then as far as with Beyonce have gotten criticism too. I know, have you guys seen that ad, that Adidas ad when Beyonce got her whole backside out? It's almost like she got this cowboy look going on. I don't know if it's a new campaign for her clothing line, but so Beyonce have been kind of getting the business too, but Beyonce's outfits, you know, as far as going to a formal event, being on a red carpet hasn't looked as extreme as this dress that Ciara has on. She's done some risque photo shoots, but we haven't seen her, at least I haven't seen her step on a red carpet scene or on a scene with something as risque as what we've recently seen with Ciara. Now, if y'all have seen it, you can let me know where you've seen it. But I think that's the big thing right there. And then, like I said, this is also coming off of, a lot of people kind of got heat for Ciara too, because of, the new song that she kind of dropped. I guess she had it on her Instagram. So she gave you kind of like this sneak peek of this song that she was going to be releasing, and that's about empowering single women and all of that. And like I said, I think the thing with that song is more so kind of a messenger type thing, with her being this whole married woman. And she's now, releasing a song that's like an anthem, just basically encouraging the single women. Ain't nothing wrong with being single. But not that long ago, she was talking about the Ciara prayer, and everybody wants the Ciara prayer so they can get them a Russell Wilson. So it's like, which one is it? Are you like pro or push, encouraging women to, to settle down and be with a good man, get your stuff together so you can be with a good man? Or are you like, no, ladies, tell these dudes F them, you go get yours? I think right now people are just like confused with her right now. It's like, what the hell is going on? That's how I feel, at least. Kareen, you said Beyonce naked on her promo for her new concert. Did you see her latest one? She has a gold dress with the meshing. I don't think I've seen that one. I don't think I've seen that. I know I just seen, like I said, something where she had her tail out and I think she maybe had a cowboy hat or something on, and it looked like it was maybe like something for Adidas. I saw that, but I'm not a beehive. So I don't really be knowing a lot what's going on with her, unless it's just something big and dropped it. Basically, you gotta be living under the rock to not know, like, if it's a new album or something. But it is what it is. I think Ciara is getting the heat just because she's kind of been the one as of late, kind of on the scene, kind of heavy, more so than probably like Beyonce. Beyonce kind of give you spurts of her. It's like, she jump in, she jump out. Like, whereas Ciara, it seemed like, she's been kind of heavy out here on the scene, trying to kind of, make a name, it's like she's trying to keep the attention on her. Kareen says, listen, I didn't like the dress, but be critical, but be critical, everyone. If you Google Vanity Fair Oscar party, tons of ladies had similar dresses. Becky G. Okay. I didn't go really looking at any dresses. I've just seen the ones, like, I don't know if you were on this live when I showed Savannah James' dress. She had a long gown on. I want to find this picture, because there was a picture where I saw with Ciara and Megan Thee Stallion were together. They took a nice picture together. And Megan had on a full dress. Vanity. Let me see if I can find that picture. But if people were like, now how? So a lot of people are like, now how Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B got more clothes on than Ciara? That was funny. But it just really, I think, when you see the picture of the two ladies together, because Megan Thee Stallion is kind of like one who's known. Okay, so I found a picture. Let me share my screen. I don't know if y'all seen this one, but this is a picture with Megan Thee Stallion and Ciara. Okay, so this picture right here, like, people were like, what the hell? Ain't no way. How Megan Thee Stallion, she's Megan Thee Stallion, she twerk, she probably twerking asleep. That's all she do is pop, lock, and twerking it out. Fully dressed, formal event, nice. And then you got Ciara, the married woman, like this. Like, the difference, the contrast. It's the contrast for me. And that's the thing that, that also, had people shook. But at the end of the day, I do agree and feel, what they say. If Russell like it, I love it, That's his wife. That's their marriage. That's their business. I'm just talking about it because it's part of entertainment. And so there's so many people out here talking about it that have an opinion about it. So I hadn't been on in a while. So I'm like, hey, let me just go ahead and make a comeback and just, get in on the conversation because it's in heavy flow. Like a lot of people are talking about it. It is what it is. And Ciara knows it. Let me see. Karine says she getting the publicity for the dress and the desire. Ciara is a fashionista now. That's what I'm wondering. Like, is she no longer a singer? Like, everything I'm seeing pertaining to her is dealing with fashion. So is she transitioning into the fashion world? Like, is this what we're doing? Because my thing is, if that's the case, if that is the case, I don't know if maybe that would make a difference with how people may start to view her, because how kind of like if someone's a model and they take certain type of risque pictures, you're factoring in, okay, they're a model. This is what they do. So I don't know. I think people haven't quite started looking at Ciara as, I guess, a model to then excuse some of these things, because it's not like she's really, I guess I've heard her really come out and say that's what she is. I don't know. I'm just, listen, y'all, I'm at a loss. I'm trying to make sense of this. That's where y'all come in there at. Like, I'm phoning a friend. Help me understand. Help me understand what is going on here. Corinne said, if you check her page, she was just at Fashion Week. Look at her page. I'll follow her. Do I know? Yes. So I've been seeing, because I'll see it in my YouTube recommendation. I'll see pictures and things of her at different events. We'll go over back to her Instagram and check it out. I had her Instagram up. Let me see if I still have it up. But let me pull that back up. So I'm like, okay, is she not seeing, like, what's going on? Like, I don't know. I just feel like Ciara's like struggling right now to try to stay relevant. And I don't know if she's trying to rebrand herself. Okay, so I'm on her. This is her Instagram. Y'all can see her page. And it's just like, it's not really anything pertaining to music. It's just, she's just modeling. So I guess, I mean, is this what models do? I don't know, because like I say, even before she was married, we didn't see this much of Ciara's body like that. To me, I feel like I'm seeing more of Ciara and her anatomy post-marriage versus pre-marriage. I don't know. So if she's going into the modeling world, does this explain what we're seeing? Like, I don't know. I don't know, but it seemed like a lot of people aren't. I mean, she still has a pretty big fan base. How many followers she got? She got 33.5 million followers. So, regardless, I doubt probably many, if any, unfollowed her because of her dress. But again, I still can't help but to wonder, those who are primarily in support of the look, what's their relationship status? Are they married people? Are they married women who are like, yes, or, are they single? Because I'm willing to believe that most of these ones that are clapping their hands in support of it, they single as a dollar bill, not, and still wanting to try to get somebody like a Russell Wilson. But I'm here to tell you, baby, following these steps, doing this is not going to get you a Russell Wilson, because she wasn't even doing that to get Russell Wilson. This is all post Russell Wilson. She didn't have no dress on like that pre-Russell Wilson. If she did, please tell me where I can see that picture. Because to me, I feel like she's more out there like this since she's been married, which is so backwards to me. It's crazy. Like, I'm like, like so confused. So it's just like, well, what are we doing? Like, are we dealing with midlife crisis type stuff? Super Patriot says 30 what? Like she's 37. When she 37, I think 35. How old is this woman? I think she's 35 or 37. She's somewhere in her mid 30s. But I'm like, what's going on? Like, Ciara, we see you. Like, we see you with your clothes on, with that. Like, we see you. I just don't feel like it's necessary. But I also feel like this isn't going to stop, because the more I guess people are talking about her, maybe that's just enough for her. It's to keep people talking about her, even if it's not, because people surely ain't really talking about her for music, and she's a singer. So I guess she's like, well, I got to get the people talking some kind of way. And she's doing it through this, I guess, with showing her body. And it is what it is, this is somebody else's wife. So this is between what they say, the Mr. and the Mrs. So I just feel like I'm sure that it's probably some interesting conversations being had at home. And there's tongue biting on Russell Wilson's part with, not really saying really what he really would like to say out of trying to, out of fear of not, or coming off as not being a supportive husband. But how long will that last? That's the question, y'all. Y'all know we're going to continue to watch until the next episode of Mrs. Wilson, because I'm willing to bet my last dollar there will be more of her to be seen and heard. We are only at the top of 2023. We just getting ready. You are just getting ready to get out of first quarter. So we still got 3 more quarters to go. Kareen says she was dancing very provocative, though, before Russell. She an entertainer, not a housewife. I don't dress like her. I don't have her body, but she always dressed provocatively and show her body. I do remember that. I mean, I remember her music videos. I just feel like it changes the game when you become married. Like, I just feel like single people, when you're single, you move differently when you're married, or at least you should. I mean, I think there should be a difference with how you move when you're married versus single. Like, you don't have to change. Like, it's evolved. I don't know. It's just like, I think people need to come to try to understand, what does marriage mean? What exactly does that mean? Because I feel like when you're single, your life is your life. It's just about you. But then when you become married, your life, you join lives with somebody else. Like I said, I started out with this live, is that you're a representative. You represent your partner, your spouse. You're a representation of them. So when Savannah stepped out, LeBron wasn't able to go to the event because he had foot surgery. So Savannah went. LeBron posted on his Instagram that he was proud of how she came through at the event. She is a representation of her husband. Ciara represents Russell, just Russell represents Ciara. Savannah represents LeBron. This is LeBron represents Savannah. That's how it works when you're in a marriage. Depends on the person. Some people are literally freaks. Yeah. And well, remember, Ciara and Russell, they waited until marriage to become, to have sex with each other. So remember, they kind of had put that out there. I think, Russell married his fantasy or whatever, but the question becomes, okay, do you want to just hook up with your fantasy, or do you want to be married to your fantasy? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's fun at times, but for it to be all the time, do you think at some moments he want to be like, okay, well, can we kind of keep this part just between us? Like, can I have something where it's just between us versus us and your 33.5 million Instagram followers? Kareen says they came together. If he disapproved, then he wouldn't have gone with her. That's a point. But I started out earlier in my live where I feel like a lot of times in relationships, in one person will just go along to show a support to the other person, even if they may not be all the way good with it. So what I feel like when it comes to Russell, I think he's there as a support. Of course, he went along with it. But my question is, how does he really feel about it? Is he going along with it to come off as a supportive husband? Not because, again, as we say, he knew what her career was when he got with her. So is it like, well, I can't say anything because, I mean, she was already kind of like this before I got with her. I would like for her to kind of have some cool, to kind of be a little more modest, but I don't want to come off as though I'm trying to change her. I think it's that that struggle of the boundary part where you don't want to come off as you're trying to change someone, but at the same time, you want to still try to express how you feel or have some type of boundary. I think that could be something that's going on as well. Super Patriot said, I'm sure he didn't like that. He said, he can't say it. I believe he can't say it. And I said before, we live in times right now where men really can't have opinions like that, like women can. It's like us women, we can get online, we can say whatever. We can say whatever about another woman, about another man, whatever. But the man can't do that. The minute the man do it, you hate women, you're a misogynist, you're this, you're that. It's like they're not allowed to have an opinion, but we can have an opinion all day long. So it's like, even though he's showing up with her and being by her side, the question is that a facade? Is he just going along to get along? Because when you ask the average man, because that's all you have to do is ask a man. That's what I do. When I see questionable stuff dealing with women, I'll ask a man. I'm married, so I'll take it to my husband. And, his opinion is like, I feel like he's just supporting her, but no, he's not good with it. But he's just supporting her, just letting her just have this moment in hopes that maybe it's something, a phase or something she'll transition out of, but he's just being supportive. But like I said, ask a man, he'll tell you. Karine said, look at Emily Ratajkowski. I don't even know who she is, but I'll look her up. Let me see. Emily, R-A-T-A. Mm-hmm. Let me see. Emily. Mm-hmm. All right. Vanity Fair. Okay, so let's see what Emily was giving at the event. Okay, so let me share my screen so we can see what Miss Emily was giving. Thank you, Karine, for sharing this with us. So let's look at this. Okay, so this is Emily. Let me look at Emily. Hey, Karine, do you know if Emily is married? Is Emily somebody's wife? Let's see what this article is saying. Emily Ratajkowski frees the nipples in sheer dress at Vanity Fair. Okay. She didn't have no man on her side. So I wonder what's her relationship status. Is she married? Because that changes the game. Let me see. Who is that? Alexandro. So Alexandro, is that who she's married to? The Alessandro person. Let me see. Alessandro. Okay. So is that like, I looked him up. Is that her? Is Alessandro Emily's man or husband or something like that? Because I think it makes a difference with what your relationship status is. And then us in the Black folks, we're not really even concerned about other people in other cultural groups either. We just be looking at our own, what you say. I ain't worried about what's going on outside. I don't worry about what's going on in this house. What you doing? And I think that's the thing also with Ciara, is the Black people are looking, it's the Black people looking at hers because she's within our culture with, let me see. Karine said it's a she and she is married. They are models. It's maybe I didn't have the right name. I found an Alessandro. It's a she. Maybe I didn't have the right name. I looked up Alessandro Ambrosio. Okay, so maybe I didn't have the right name. Okay, I see. I had the wrong name. It was a male that came up. Okay, so I see this other model. Okay, Alessandra, I've seen her before. Okay, that's why. It looks like she was a Victoria's Secret model. I recognize her. So here's the thing. That's the thing. That's why I wanted to know if Ciara is now moving in these streets and identifying as a model, because I think when it comes to people in certain industries, when they dress a certain way, is looked at differently. So like models, for some reason, just ever since I can remember, if I knew someone as a model, however I seen them dress, I didn't really think twice about it because I was used to seeing them, basically seeing their body because they were a model. Us collectively, we don't know Ciara as no model. We've been seeing pictures as of late, with her doing all this fashion, all this stuff. So that's why I'm like, is she now branding herself as a model? Because I knew Ciara as a damn crunk dancer, singer, whatever the hell, not no doggone model. So what is she trying to identify? What is she trying to do? Because I think that may make a difference where it's just like, oh, okay, Cece, she's the supermodel. She's a model, and that's how models dress. That's not what we know her as. We know her as a singer, an R&B singer that be pop locking. That's what I know her at least from. Corrine says she's Brazilian. They are in the fashion industry too, like Ciara. I was trying to say that they are fashion girlies. They dress like this. And that's the thing. We don't identify the world that collectively, we don't identify Ciara as somebody from the fashion world like that. Most people, if you ever in conversations and they're talking about Ciara, they're identifying Ciara as a singer. That's the thing. People don't look at her in the same category as these models who, ever since we've known them, has been identified as a model. This whole model stuff to me is fairly new for Ciara, maybe in the last couple of years, but it hasn't been a thing to me long enough for people to leave behind the thought of her being what they call her, a crump dancer, a crump singer. Like, people know her as a singer from Atlanta. I live in Georgia. So to me, to hear Cece is just a singer, an R&B singer, period. Like, we don't throw model in her, nothing. What is Ciara? A singer, a dancer, period. Corrine says she does. Ciara is a part of the fashion industry now, and she is wearing a clothing representing the fashion brand. Okay. Corrine says she's not a traditional model. She's famous and represents brands similar to Kim K and J-Lo. So yeah, I guess she's trying to rebrand herself. I get it, but sometimes I think too that people can kind of pigeonhole you, and it's almost like, you ever heard of when somebody get typecast and they only get certain type of roles because people only want to see you doing a particular thing. Y'all remember there's been certain actors, they'll try to sing or rap, and it's just like, no, we don't want to see you doing that because we're used to you in one lane. I kind of feel like that's how it is with Ciara, and say when it comes to this clothing thing, to where we know Ciara as being like this singer and things like that. So for her to be on a red carpet at a Vanity Fair and have her behind all out, like, the people, that's not what we know her. We're not ready for that. I don't know if we're gonna have to get used to and get ready for it if it's more of her to come like this. But I just think that in our community, given with all these comments that people have, or these opinions that people have that I've been hearing that's not favorable, because like I said, I haven't heard anybody in conversation that has been favorable of what she's doing. Really, with this live I'm doing, and Kareem, since you've been, with participating with giving comments, I'm getting, you're kind of like a perspective that I'm getting, from another side, which is great, because I've just been hearing the perspective of people who have not been here for it. So I do thank you for giving your perspective and you letting me know, like, listen, sis is in the whole, she's a fashionista. This is what we do. This is what us fashionistas do. So I appreciate the insight. I do thank you. And you guys, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I do appreciate you and your support. Corrine says she is doing everything. She's also acting now and will be in a movie next few months. Okay. Kareen, how do you feel that the marriage between her and Russell is strong? Because a lot of people have just been saying, nah, this ain't gonna last. And a lot of men, I feel like us as women, we can't discount what other men say when it comes to certain things because they're speaking from a male perspective, just as though they can't discount what women have to say about the nature of women. Like they know men just like we know women. And collectively, what I've been hearing is these men do not see this marriage lasting. What's your thoughts on that? Or anybody here, what are your thoughts? Do you guys, if you were a betting man, woman, whatever you identify as, do you see longevity with this union? Or do you see it ending for whatever reason? Because I'm hearing so many men like, and then they're saying she's going to be the one to leave, not him leaving. They're like, she's going to leave. They feel like it'll happen when he retired, but they're like, nah, she's lost. She doesn't have respect for him. Kareen says she's not making money from music. She's doing other things to stay in the limelight. She's not going to sit down and bake cookies. Sorry, I follow her career. Listen, I agree. I can see she's not going to sit down and bake cookies. It's very clear to me that she's like, y'all gonna hear me roar. Y'all finna see me. Yes, I'm Mrs. Wilson, but I'm Ciara too. I was Ciara first. To me, as I say, I feel like she's really struggling to hold on to her identity and not wanting to just be known as Mrs. Wilson, a wife and a mom. I think she has a problem with that. Super Patriot said, hate to say it probably won't last. Kareen says, I hope they last. I hear the negative about them for years. My best friend said the same thing until I explained what she is doing. Until I explained what she is doing to him. And Super Patriot said, it just won't. I don't know. I mean, it remains to be seen, but I think that if it doesn't last, I don't think many people will be surprised. And guess what? It's going to be people back on the blogs, on YouTube, talking about it and doing a timeline on what led up. You know what their relationship remind me a lot of? Megan Good and Devon's relationship. I think I got a lot of videos out here, but I think I did cover. I think I might have some content out there where I covered Megan Good and Devon. But to me, their whole situation gives me Megan Good and Devon vibes. Like Megan tried to fit into Devon's world and it didn't work. It didn't work. And I'm a fan of Megan Good too. And I like Devon too. I think they're both good people, but I think she was trying to be something that she wasn't. I think she recognized that he was a good man. And at that time, she thought that what he had to offer is what she wanted and needed. And then in the midst of that, she lost herself because it was about trying to keep up with an image, trying to live for someone else, trying to make sure that you're not tainting the image or the look of this person. I think it just became too much for her to where she was like, you know what? I can't do this anymore. And I feel the same way when it comes to Ciara and Russell. I feel like Ciara, did you guys see the clip when Ciara and Russell were at the prison singing or fellowshipping with the inmates? Y'all seen that? The contrast. Like, whose idea was it to go do that? Y'all think it was Ciara's idea? Who said who said let's get up on Saturday and go to the prison up the way? Who said that? Kareen said everyone says that. Kareen says they have children and legacy. They are a brand. I think they are worth over $300 million now. That sounds about right. Super Patriot said, never rush into these things. Say it again for the people in the back. I think when Ciara got married, I think she ran and got married because she didn't foresee herself being a baby mom. I don't know how she thought that future was going to do her any different than the previous 6, 7, 8, however many baby mamas he got. But for somehow she thought she was different, or her stuff had gold, and it didn't work out that way. So I think once she had that child, for her, she felt like she was above being a baby mom. So it's a matter of, I have to get wiped up, because what I'm not going to do is be a baby mama. Y'all not going to talk about me. Because like I said, I believe she came from a 2-parent household with her parents were married, which to say that she knows better. She values the traditional life. Because remember, her and Future, they were engaged. They were planning a wedding and everything. I think it was going to be televised, just a really big, nice wedding before everything kind of got called off. But I think she kind of rushed into it just because I think had she not had the child, I don't think she would have gotten married as quickly as she did. But because she was a mother, she wanted to create, she wanted a certain type of foundation for him, which I'm not mad at that. I mean, but I think that's what happened. And now that she has all that going on in the, what they say, hindsight is 2020, is 2020. I think now when she's just looking at everything, she's seeing that the real reason why she rushed in and got with Russell anyway, she did it for her son, to create a foundation and stability. But when she asked herself if it was really something she really wanted or was ready for, I think her answer is no. I think her answer is no. I think she just felt like she did what she had to do, based on based on where she was in her life at that time, which I understand. I understand that, we make decisions based on our current circumstances, and circumstances change. People change. Karine said they own a soccer team. They own part of Alaska Airlines. Girl, Karine, I didn't know all that. I didn't know they had all that popping off. Wow, that's good. I mean, that's awesome. But imagine though, people wondered if they have a prenup. If they were to go their separate ways, what would that look like? What would that look like if they were? Because, I mean, it would be crazy. I wonder what that would look like from the financial aspect of it, as far as with the splitting of the assets or whatever. I hope at all in they work it out. I'm never rooting for somebody to be divorcing and all that. So it would be my prayer that they continue, they make it work, and that they have a strong union. But based off of what I'm seeing with how she's moving, I don't see how there will be longevity, meaning like 20 plus years with how she's moving now. I don't see it. I don't see it. So Karine says a school, a liquor company, kid clothing company. So I pray that lasts. I pray too it lasts. They got all that going on. Karine says, so I think they will try their best to stay in the marriage. If not, then hope they'll make it amicable. I'm with you on that. It'll hit the media. It'll be big headlines. It will be big headlines, but collectively, I don't think people would be surprised. I don't think people will be surprised. And I think it'll be split. Whereas, as far as with people trying to place blame on who, I think all the single ladies, these people who are like, yes, the yes girl people are going to be like, he must, he cheated. He did that. But I think the people on the other side, they're going to be looking at how Ciara was moving within the marriage. And they're going to be like, I'm not surprised. She was moving like she was single all along. She was moving like she was single. So yeah, it's definitely going to be big news. So Wife School 2023, Wife School 2023. I wonder if there was a place, if that were a thing, would people be signing up for that? I think a lot of people would sign up for it, because I listen to a lot of, different podcasts and things on the internet. And a lot of the conversation is about marriage and husbands and wives, and what does it look like to be a wife or the husband? What are men looking for in women? What are women looking for in men? And I think there's a lot of people who just don't have a clue on just really what married life is about. Like they look at these celebrity lives like a Cardi B and Offset and think married life is like that. Maybe, that's Instagram married life, everyday married life for everyday people like me. It doesn't look anything like that. So I think if there were a wife school where people can really see what the everyday married life look like, I think that would be very beneficial for our community. Kareen says they are married now for 7 years. Yeah, they've been married for a minute. Listen, once you hit 10 years, listen, you vested. So I feel like they would definitely hit that 10-year mark, but 20, I don't know. I wouldn't bet on the 20. 10, yeah, because they're just 3 years away. But 20, no, I wouldn't bet on the 20. Nah, that's a long time. And only with them making it to like a 20 is if we just seen an about face with her with how she start moving and things like that. But it's unfortunate, but yeah, I just wish that more young women who maybe do desire to get married would listen to or take heed or be more receptive to the feedback that everyday women who aren't celebrities tell them, like, their experience. Or I don't know. I just think that this whole internet and with celebrities, it's not that it doesn't give off a real depiction of really what married life is. And I think that's what people are going off of, whether it may have them to feel favorable about marriage or not. They're judging it off of the celebrity life. And the people, a lot of times that I do hear speak on podcasts and things like that, a lot of times they're not. It's funny though, because most of the time when I'm listening to like on the internet, on a podcast, the people who are married, they're men. And then the women aren't married. So the men are like speaking and they have wives, but it's like the women, they don't have husbands. It's kind of crazy, but everybody has an opinion. As they say, it's like an a-hole. Everyone has one. But it's just kind of interesting to me to hear a lot of the opinions of a lot of unmarried women. And they like up there, like they dropping gems, like on married life. And I'm like, okay, and I listen a lot of times, in the background, and it's just like, nah, that's not really how it is, coming from someone who's been married almost 19 years. It's not really like that, but they just feel like they know what it's like. And they just sit on these panels and just talk about it for hours. It's quite interesting. But you see it so much. And it's just like, wow, a lot of people really don't have a clue what goes into marriage. The work, you work at it, as they say, anything worth having, you'll work at it. And I've heard someone not even like, I mentioned, I don't know, I did a comment on a post one time and I mentioned about marriage being work. And this woman didn't like that I used the word work. Well, damn heifer, that's what the hell it is. It is work. It's work. It is, but it's something that's worth working at. But I'm not going to mislead or tell anyone that it's not. It is work. It's not all peaches and cream. It's something that you have to work at. Hell, having kids is work. Everything. Hell, you work to make money is work. There's so many things that fall in the work category. So work isn't something that's negative. It's something that is. And marriage is work. You work at it. It's a partnership. It's give and take. It's selfless. You can't be selfish and be married, because that's a sure way to end in divorce court. There's many parts. There's many aspects of marriage, but it's work. It's teamwork. How about that? That has work in it. It's teamwork. Where they say it takes teamwork to make the dream work. You have to come together. You have to. I want someone recently said something. It was like, there's a reason why like in certain political seats, they want you to be married and like to be a president. Like they say, like you need to have like a spouse or something like that, because they said that married people, when you're married, you learn how to work with someone else. And when they said it, I thought about that. And like I said, I've been married, almost 20 years. And I can work very well with other people. I call it play well with others in the sandbox. I can play well with others, but I've been married for a really long time. So I know all about sharing and compromising, being selfless, putting someone's feelings before mine, maybe not always getting my way. Those things come kind of easy to me. But I look at lives of other people who either never been married or maybe they have been married, but it was a long time ago, or it wasn't for a long time. And I see how they often have selfish characteristics. Or think about a woman, who's never been married, nor does she have children. Is she selfish? Do you ever notice that, that person may have some selfish tendencies where everything's about them, and because their life is just built around them, they never have to factor in anyone else. Marriage is a selfless thing. You're always having to factor in the feelings of other people. And when you have children, so it's not about you. It's not always about you. So I hear these women, I'm the table, I'm this. In a true marriage, that doesn't even come up. Who's the prize? Who's the table? Who's the chairs? I've never had that conversation before with my husband. So it's crazy when I listen to these podcasts and these people talk about marriage and who's most important, who should be doing this, who should be doing that. And it's just like, wow, you guys really don't have a clue, because it's not even about that. It's about everyone in the household, man, woman, husband, whatever your dynamic is, you understand what needs to be done. The mission is to get it done. It's not so much about who is going to do it, as long as it gets done. And based on your relationships, you guys identify who's going to do what. If you're going to do that, well, damn it, do it. If I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it. That's how you keep the ship going. It's not all these hours, 4 or 5 hour live streams about who finna be cooking, who finna be taking care of the kids, who the prize. Like, that's just a waste of, like, what the hell? See, I'll be like, see, no wonder why these folks ain't got nobody. Because it's like a lot of people are clueless about it. It's about working with somebody. And when I see these people on these panels and when they talk and they can't even really work with one another, it's just like, well, damn, I see why you'll see why you by yourself, because you can't play well with others. You still stuck on who most important and how you should be the prize. That's not really how when you get in when you're in a relationship, that's not, sis, come on. It's not even about that. Do you guys understand what I'm talking about? If anybody's married, let me know. If you're not, I'm letting you know it's not about that. It's about doing what needs to be done. Just getting it done. Sometimes it's not about who did it, who paid that bill, that the fact that it got paid. When you live together, you're one. Their income is your income is their income. It's as simple as that. And people make it so deep. They make it so deep to where, hell, they never even marry, get down the altar, because they done made it so deep on what needs to go down in a marriage to where now the other person like, well, damn, I don't even want to be married to you. And it's just like, it's really not that deep. It's really not that deep. I got married at 23 years old. You figured it ish out. Like, you just figure it out. Nothing's perfect. You're not going to have all the answers. You're not going to have all the answers. I promise you. I still don't have all the answers. My husband don't have all the answers, but we come together to make it do what it do. That's what you do. That's what it's about. And marriage school, wife school. This is what you learn in wife school. You learn that it's okay. It's okay to be dependent on somebody else. It's okay. It's okay. For a long time, I didn't know that, because that's not how I was raised. But I came to learn that it is okay to be dependent on your spouse, your partner. It's okay, because we're a team. You're a team. It's okay. So be careful with who you listen to. I want to say, when we're watching these celebrities and we're seeing how they're moving, we have to take into an account that they are celebrities. Ciara is a celebrity. We can't think that, well, C done had it all hanging out, so we can't think that tomorrow on Saturday we can go into Walmart and try to have it all hanging out and still get the same sentiments on our Instagram when somebody posts a picture of us in Walmart. Like, I guarantee you them comments ain't gonna be as favorable as some of the comments that Ciara had. Ciara is a celebrity. And I think a lot of times people get caught up in the lives of celebrities and think that they can move like celebrities. And that's dangerous. It's very dangerous. It's very dangerous. So we have to kind of use, I don't know what I want to say. I don't know what I want to say. Discernment, common sense. I don't know what they say. Read the room. If you look to your left and right and you're not seeing somebody wearing what Ciara got on when you're out and about, then let's just not do it. How about that? Let's just go about that. If you don't know, just go off of just what you see. Read the room. That's the best I can tell you if you don't have any type of judgment on your own. Because some of these celebrities out here will have people damn lost in the sauce thinking that they can go out there and do what the Cardi B, the Megan Thee Stallions, the Ciaras are doing. And guess what? You can't. You can't do it. So don't get caught up in it. do not get caught up, y'all, in their shenanigans. Let them do that. Let them have that. If you here for them having that, whatever all out, you here for it. But it would behoove you. It would behoove you to not be trying to step out on the scene like that, especially if you're in the market of wanting to pull you a man and get wifed up. Because I'm just going to say, y'all going to say, Sheik said it. Sheik speaks. Y'all heard on Sheik speaks. You ain't getting that ring if you going outside doing that, what Ciara doing. You're not going to do it. You're not getting it. You're a regular everyday person. It's not going to happen. Sorry, sis. It's not going to happen. It might get you slayed for the night, but if you're looking for something, longevity, and not being a side piece, it's not going to happen. It's not. And that man is not going to have a problem with telling you why. They don't. How many times, I don't know if y'all have heard it, many where you've heard strippers online whining and complaining, saying that men don't take them serious or want to wipe them up, this, that, and the third, and they be married, but they just want to play around with them. That's a real thing. Like, a man, they ain't gonna turn you down, but they also not gonna want to wife you up either. So we have to use discernment. Certain things we need to just kind of keep behind closed doors. Let that come out after you get that ring. Like not before, because you ain't gonna get the ring. Let it come out like after the fact, like, oh, okay, honey, I got something to show you, after the ring, because otherwise it's a good chance you're not gonna get it if this is what you're given beforehand. So this is just coming from a fellow, a married woman who know a thing or two about married life and getting the ring. Like, it's not gonna happen. Men care about what type of look, how you represent. Because as I said before, you are a representation of him. When you step on the scene, you represent him. Y'all seen that Black China she trying to change her image. She said now, I guess she done had an epiphany. So I don't know, she done took some NyQuil, slept real good, and woke up. But now she was like, I think she sat down, did an interview with Jason Lee. And she said that she's come to the conclusion that she's better. She closed down her OnlyFans account that she had made, like, I think 240 million from or something like that. And she said she just had this she now knows that she's worth more than that. Her value, her self-value is greater than that, than one of a woman being on OnlyFans. So it's just like, wow, it's awesome that she came to that conclusion, but dang, like, I guess 240 million later, like, at what cost? So the question is, will a man still overlook her past? Like, you can wake up all day long. I don't know if any of you follow with social media with Brittany Renner. She's talked about, with changing some things about her, but is a man that forgiving when it comes to a woman past? I kind of think us as women, we're more forgiving when it comes to men than they are when it comes to us as women. So Black China can shut down her OnlyFans, but Black China to many men is still Black China. Take, for example, Corinne Steffen, Superhead. She didn't change her whole name and everything. Elizabeth Ovelson. But people still refer to her as Superhead. So even though she's changed her name to Elizabeth Ovelson, it doesn't change her past. People still know who she is. So you can change your name all day long. What they say, tomato, it still doesn't change that we know who you are. It doesn't work that way. And some people think that's how it is. Like you can just simply just scratch out, cross out something, and now you just got this clean slate. And that's not how life works. You're in for a rude awakening if you think it is. And right now, Corinne, she's feeling that right now, that even though she didn't change her name, she's still being treated like her name is Superhead, like her name is Corinne Steffens, even though she's changed it to Elizabeth Ovalson. Like it didn't make no difference with still how she's been treated. I don't know if you guys followed, like she was saying she was pregnant. She's pregnant by like this celebrity chef and things like that. And he's just basically straight just got her on ghost mode. And remember, she didn't change her whole name and everything, but this man's he's still treating her like her name Superhead. Like, listen, we gotta pay attention. Like we gotta be. We need to be strategic. We need to be mindful with how we move in these streets, because we cannot erase our past. We cannot erase everybody's memory. We can't. And a lot of people, even when they're bringing it back to Ciara, as people talk about with Russell Wilson, they be like, I don't feel this is what I'm hearing. Many men are saying they don't feel sorry for Russell Wilson because they were like, look what her past, look who she was with prior to being with him. So would it, like everybody she was, all these men who she was with before are arguably for the streets, aren't men that a lot of quality women who, you know, are trying to hook up with, you know, they're men and maybe got multiple kids that's out there that's ain't trying to wife nobody up. They're like, sir, like, how are you surprised that these are the shenanigans that's taking place when her past looks the way it does? Like, make it make sense. How surprised are you? So that's another thing that Russell has to sit in, which is why I think he stays quiet, is because he knew what he was getting into. He just thought that he was getting with a changed woman. He thought he was getting with a changed woman because she now was someone's mother. Those kids, that little boy that was one, I think he said the baby was one when he got with Ciara. He's a big boy now. He's not a baby anymore. Whatever Ciara was going through at that time, sister snapped out of that. Sister snapped out of it. She's like, she's back. It's like, okay, she was just going through something. Like she was in mommy mode. Hell, probably arguably postpartum, you know, but now she's like, I know who I am. Like I done found myself and I'm trying to be outside. Yeah, I'm trying to do me. And it's just, and he's thinking like, oh snap. Wow. I didn't think it was going to be like this. You know, I remember you said you wanted this type of life and that type of life. Now it seems like you're kind of moving a little different. I wonder if I can be a fly on the wall in their house, what kind of conversations they're having, because I'm sure a lot of it is her talking to him about how she's evolved and how she's changed. Many women experience that. I've had that conversation before in my own marriage. When I hit 30, I got married. Remember, I said at 23, I remember at 30 having the conversation, 3 kids later. So I know how those conversations can go. And then you have to now get to know one another all over again, because you two have grown, or some have grown more than the other. So now you have to find these new ways of living together with this new person. And that's what we're seeing with Russell and Ciara. Like this new person to Russell, it's a new person. This is who Ciara was, but she momentarily, she kind of started showing a different side because she had became a mother and she was wanting to get married because she didn't want to be a baby mother. So she became something else so she can get what it was that she wanted. Once she mission accomplished, once she got what she wanted, she went back to being who she really was, which is what we're seeing. So he's struggling with that. Like, what the hell? Y'all can't tell me this man secretly don't be on the internet Googling her. I know he'd probably be secretly Googling like, what? Damn, Lord Jesus. But he don't want to save face. You know, he's thinking like, well, if I try to back out, I'm going to be looking crazy. I can't do it. He's a quarterback. This is a winner. He's a leader. He's like, I can't back out of this. I got to make this work. I got to walk with my chest out. I can't let these people see that I'm feeling a certain type of way by what's going on here. I can't do that. No, I got to let them know I'm good. I'm solid here. But deep down, is that really how this man is feeling? I don't believe it is. I don't believe it is. I think it's just that he's so far in. He's so far in to where it's just like it's no turning back now. It's like he got both feet in. Let's go to this Instagram. It's no turning back now. Like, we're here now. We got 2 kids, and I want to play a part in at least how my kids are going to be raised. I'm seeing some things more and more, but if we divorce, then we're going to be dealing with the the co-parent household, and I'm not going to be around to have as much influence as I like when it comes to my children, my daughter. I gotta stay around in this house. I gotta watch and see what's going on. Because I said earlier in my live, the baby girl, there was a video Ciara she was doing a little, she was recording the daughter, Sienna, and Sienna was kind of acting sassy and stuff. And then Ciara asked Russell, she's like, Daddy, how do you feel about this? And he was like, that's too much. I don't like he insinuated that he did not like that energy that his baby girl was giving. He didn't think that was ladylike. So that lets me know that this is a man that in his mind, he knows what's ladylike and what's not. That lets me know that already. So this man is now knee deep, and he was like, I ain't got no other choice but to be trying to make this work, because I'd be damned if I'm going to walk away and have people saying, I told you so. He's not going to do that. Russell was a winner. He's a court. It's a certain type of mentality that a star athlete is going to have. Somebody of a quarterback. This is a winner. This is a leader. Leaders don't quit. Leaders don't bail out. He's in it. He's in it. But you cannot make me believe that this man is not doing his research that wasn't done earlier on. You can't tell me he ain't going on the internet right now when he's by himself and looking her up and looking at past stuff. And with a little tear slowly dropping down his face. You can't tell me this man not. You cannot. But he's like, damn, it is what it is. I got to try to make it work. But you know what I'm not going to do? I'm not going to just let my children just be raised in a house with just her and I be a weekend dad. I'm not doing that. I got to be in this house to see what's going on with my children. I have to be in their life 100%, because we all know most of the time the children are left with the fathers, right? No, I'm sorry, with the mothers. Most of the time the mother is awarded full custody of the kids and daddy is paying child support. And then he's seeing the kids however he see them. But the mom have primary custody. I don't see Russell on any given day being okay with not being there in his children's life, like outside of him having to leave and go to work and come home. I don't see him being good with that. Not with what he's seeing already play out with him being there. Imagine if he wasn't around, what would be popping off? He's like, nah, I really got to stick around because I got a little girl and I don't want her to pick up and to be doing these things, because little girls I have a daughter. Your daughters, they look up to you. And that's another thing. I've done other videos on Ciara before where as a mom, a woman, you are the first female image of your daughter as far as with somebody for them to look up to. You are that first example. You are that example. I want my hair like yours, mommy. I want to be like you. It's you. So little baby girl, she ain't going to be baby girl forever. She's going to grow up and see things and going to want to emulate those things, which naturally girls do. You want to be strong. You want to emulate your mother or whoever that female figure was that you were around. It's just natural, just like boys when it comes to their fathers. It is what it is. That's the way it's supposed to be, but we should be cognizant of our behaviors because of that. What do you tell your daughter when after you then went to an event and you had it all spread out, and then the daughter now talking about, well, mommy, I want to wear a dress like you. Is your response, well, baby, when you turn 18, you can? Because you can't hit them with, well, no, you can't ever do it. What you just finna hit them with, well, right now you too young, but when you turn 18, then you can do it. Is that what you say? Because I don't know what else better that you can say to that. Because I don't understand how you can fix your mouth to say, no, you can't at all ever, like, and not be in support of it when you go up and down your entire social media and it looks the way it does. How, Sway? How? It has to make sense. Do as I say, not as I do. You can't raise children like that. Children are very impressionable. They're looking. Baby girl was able to act sassy to the camera to her mom because she's seen how her mom acts. That's why daddy was like, no, that's too much, because to him, he's like, that's not cute. Most men don't want to see their little girls acting sassy. They want them to act like little, sweet little girls. They don't want them to emulate women, to act older and to grow faster than what they should. A man don't want that for his daughter. That is his princess. That's his princess. And I often wonder a lot of times with women who move just recklessly and just do the absolute most in these streets, what do they think about when it comes time when they got to have certain conversations with their daughters, with their children? You know, even if you're a woman and you got a son, what kind of your son's going to be seeing certain things. What are you saying? What are you saying to them when they see their mama got it hanging all out? Like, what are you saying? What are you saying to little Future? What is she saying to little Future? Like, he's getting closer. He's probably almost like an adolescent. What is that boy? Is he like 10 yet? You know, so he'll be a teenager probably in a couple of years. Like, what are you saying? These kids got access to internet. Their friends got access to internet. So they can come to school and be showing, oh, this is such and such mama. Oh, this your mama right here. Why your mama got it's just like, I think a lot of times people move selfishly. As I say, in a marriage, you can't be selfish because it's not about you. It's about the family. And a lot of times the babies got to bear the brunt of things when adults are out there acting recklessly, because they still got to, adults can just kind of turn the internet out, unplug, turn on Netflix, watch something, but kids still got to go outside, live their life and be around their peers, go to school. And those kids have access to internet, and then they're getting hit with questions that they're now having to come home to bring to their parent. We got to think beyond ourselves. We got to. We got to do it. We got to do it more than what we do, because we clearly not doing it enough. It's beyond, well, I got the body, I can wear it. Or I'm free. But think about it beyond, if you ain't this, just think about your kids. Just take it past you. It's beyond, oh, I want my kids to love their body. Yes, they can love their body. But also you want to teach your kids about just self-respect when it comes to the way you present yourself to the public. And if you are a model and you're saying, well, I'm a model, this is what models wear. Okay, leave it on the runway. When you go to work, if that's how you're walking down the runway. So your daughter or your son come to know, okay, when mommy's at work, when she's on the runway or she's in a magazine, this is what she's wearing. But when she goes out to public, to an event, and she's around people, this is how she presents herself. It's a time and place for everything. What they say is not what you do, is how you do it, right? How you do it. Kareen said, those are powerful words. I respect your perspective on this. Thank you, Kareen. I'm just a married mom of 3, 2 boys and a girl. So I know how impressionable kids are. And every day I move thinking about how I'm perceived by them. My oldest son just turned 18 on Tuesday. My youngest girl is 13. I want to be the example of how my boys should treat a woman. And I want to be an example of how my daughter should carry herself. So it's bigger than me. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than any parent. That's a part of parenting. That's it. Wife School 2023. Thank y'all for joining. Please like, share, and subscribe. That's all I have for this topic. I just, it's been a minute since I've been out here, been, busy living life, but I wanted to come out and just give my perspective. It's not about ever bashing anyone, because that's not what I do on my channel. I like to look at my channel as a balanced channel, but I'm a married woman. So often my perspective is coming from that of a married woman. And there's not a lot of people in these YouTube streets that has that same status as me. So oftentimes it's kind of like a different perspective, or they may give their perspective, but again, it's off of what they think married life is. They don't know what it's like, but what they think it's like. I'm coming to you telling you what the hell it is like. And it's real. It's real and it's work. I said it, and I don't care who don't like it. It's real and it's work, and it's about teamwork, and it can be done if you want it to be done. As they say, life is what you make it, and I believe in that wholeheartedly. Life is what you make it. Your marriage is what you make it. It's what you make it. Period. Simple as that. Kareen said the fashion house highlights their designs on the red carpet, Instagram, etc. Like you say, they are celebrities, not normal people, and you can't dress like that at Walmart. Thanks again. Period. I call it Walmart Chronicles or Walmart Shenanigans, where you'll see these videos going around with the latest hot mess that's taking place in a Walmart near you. Like, yes, you can yes girl all day long for Ciara, but you go pull that in Walmart tomorrow and see how quick you end up on Shade Room, and how many yes girls you gonna get. You probably gonna get none. They gonna shade the F out you. It is what it is. It is what it is. It's the reality of it. You can't do what she can do. So if you put that in perspective, you can't move the way she moves, then you good. You got to understand that she's a celebrity. You have to sit that there. You got to sit it there. Each one teach one. That's all, all I can do is just, come on here and hope that the right person, even if it's just one person, my message that it reaches them. Because it's a lot of people out here. It's a lot of lost souls out here. It's a lot of lost souls out here, and people not really getting the right message. They're being told what they want to hear, that feel good message, and it's not reality. And they just get set up for the okie doke. They getting set up for the okie doke. And some of them are entering these marriages, and they're so ill prepared. Marriage don't work, and some of them don't even get the marriage all together because somebody done gave them the cliff notes on how to get it. And they did a 2-hour session of wife school on somebody's YouTube channel. Like, really, really, like, I don't know. I just shake my head and be like, you know what? This right here. See, that's why I be talking about celebrity content, because talking about that relationship stuff, like, do people really want to hear the truth? Because I'm starting to feel like people don't. They just want to hear what they want to hear, because most of this stuff out here is not the truth. So I thank y'all again. Please like, share, and comment. Let me know if there's any other type of content you want me to cover, any any news or anything going on that you want me to come back and discuss. There's been so much going on. I tend to still keep my ear to the streets. I just hadn't come out here to do a live in a minute, but I do know there's a lot going on. So let me know if there's anything, anything on your heart in particular that you want to hear what Chic Speaks got to say about it. And, I can do my little research and come back and, and bring my little opinion, 2 cents coming from the married woman with 3 children. But until next time, take care of yourself. Take care of one another. Again, thank you. Like, share, and subscribe. If you did like or appreciate the content, you can hit me on my Cash App at $Speak50. But until the next time, you guys take care and you have a wonderful weekend. Peace.